Hey everyone, welcome back. So now in this session, we are going to discuss about adding other remaining requirements page. So I'll simply click on the plus icon and let's rename this page as other requirements. So I'll double click, press Ctrl A and then other requirements. All right. Now, let's say we are first of all interested in changing the background color, right? For the wallpaper and for the canvas both. So I'll simply expand this visualization pane and under this report page settings, under the canvas, wallpaper, we can change the color from here. Let's choose this color, that is #CEC7BE. And that's how you can change the color. In fact, if you want to increase the transparency, so you can increase the transparency from here. And you can choose to have the transparency percentage according to your convenience. Let's keep it, might be 50%. That's fine. Now, let's say we do not want the filters pane to be there. So under the view tab, we will simply click here on this filters to hide it. Filters pane is now hidden. All right. And now, as per our requirement, let's say we are interested in adding certain filters first of all. So I will simply click here on this blank slicer, sorry. And this is going to create a blank slicer for us. Let's place it here at the top. All right, and let's say in this particular slicer, we are interested in representing the panic score HML, that is high, medium, low. So I will now expand the data pane, and under the data pane, here in the search box, we may write panic and then score. All right, so here it is named custom, I believe. So I'll simply double click on this custom and we'll drag and drop it here in fields section. Yes. So here the name of the column is custom. We will have to change the name of the column. So we can simply change it here. I'll simply double click on this custom written here under the data pane and we will change it to panic score high, medium, low. So HML and close the bracket and press enter. All right. It might take some time. All right, and now I will simply format this particular slicer. So I'll click on it and then under the visualizations pane, we have format your visual. Then under general, under effects, let's change the background to off. And let's say we are interested in adding a visual border. So let's change the visual border to on. Let's say we want to change the color of the visual border. So under the visual border, you can change the color from here and let's keep it, might be white. Or in case if you want a different color, you can choose to have a different color as well. I'll click here on the slicer again. Then format your visual, having this slicer selected, click on general, effects, visual border, and you can choose to have a different color, might be from here. So let's choose this color, that is 66554E. And we can choose to have a shadow as well. And we can change the color of the shadow from here. Let's choose 66554E. All right. Now, in this particular visual, we have represented the panic score, high, medium, low. Now we want to add one more slicer to this report page. And in that slicer, we want to represent the gender. So I'll click on the slicer that we have created, Control C, Control V. I'll move the newly created slicer towards the right and I'll keep it somewhere here. And now I will remove this panic score HML from this field bucket and will now drag the gender column under the data pane. We'll drag and drop it here in fields bucket. Similarly, I will click here on gender slicer that we have created, Control C, Control V. I'll move the newly created slicer here. And after that, I will remove this gender column from the fields bucket. And now let's say we want trigger reason to be here in the slicer. So in the search box, I will write trigger and it will show us the column. So trigger reason, I'll simply double click on it and will drag and drop it here in fields bucket. So it shows the trigger reason now. I'll click on this trigger reason slicer, Control C, Control V. We'll move the newly created slicer towards the right and we'll remove this trigger reason field from the data pane. sorry, from the fields bucket and the visualizations pane, and will now search for medical history column. So we will now simply double click on this medical history column. We'll drag and drop it here in fields bucket. So these were the slicers that we wanted to add. So we have added these slicers. Now, let's say we are interested in adding other visuals as well that we've already discussed about them in the previous session. So in the very first line chart that we have to add, we are interested in representing the number of the patients by drinks per week. So I will simply click here on this line chart, and well, first of all, just place it here at the bottom. We'll increase the size. All right. And in this line chart, let's say we are interested in representing the number of the patients by drinks per week, right? So first of all, we will double click on this ID column under the data pane, and we'll drag and drop it here in y-axis bucket. And this is going to show us the count of the patients, right? And now here we have alcohol consumption, since we are interested in representing the number of the patients by drinks per week. So I will simply double click on this alcohol consumption column under the data pane. We'll drag and drop it here in x-axis bucket. All right. So this is the line chart that has been created. And now let's say we are further interested in formatting this chart. So I will click here on this chart. And as of now, you can see that grid lines are present on this chart. We do not want the grid lines to be there. So having this line chart selected, we'll simply click here on format your visual. And first of all, we'll change the grid lines to off. So horizontal grid lines to off and vertical grid lines as well to off. Now let's say we are interested in changing the color for the line. So I'll click here on lines, and under the lines, we have the option to change the color. So under color, let's choose this color, that is #66554E. And let's say we want the markers also to be there. So here under the markers, we can simply change them to on. And after that, we do not want this white colored background to be there. So under this general, under effects, we will change the background to off. All right. And let's say we want this line chart to have same formatting as that of these slicers that we have created. So let's click on the first slicer, then click on Format Painter under the Home tab, and then click on this line chart. All right. So now let's further format this line chart. So after clicking here on this line chart, let's say we do not want this alcohol consumption to be written along the horizontal axis. So having this line chart selected, we'll simply click here on Format Your Visual, then along the x-axis. We do not want the title to be there, although we want the values to be represented, but we do not want the title to be there. And the count of the patients, we want to represent it in data labels. We do not want this count of ID and count of patients to be written along the vertical axis. So I'll collapse this x-axis and then click on y-axis, expand it. And let's change the values to off. Let's change the title as well to off. And since now the values are not visible on this line chart, so we will change the data labels to on. All right. And we can further format the data labels as well. So I'll click on data labels. Then under the values, we can probably change them to bold. We can change the color from here. All right. And similarly, for the values being represented along the horizontal axis, we can change the values being represented along the horizontal axis, right? So I'll scroll up, and along the horizontal axis for the values, we can change them to bold, and we can change the color as well to brown. Also, I think here it will be important to represent the title along the horizontal axis, right? So along the horizontal axis, we can write number of the drinks per week. So for x-axis, we have title. Let's change the title to on. And here in auto, we will write number of drinks per week. All right. And we can change the color to #66554E. Let's keep it bold. And probably can increase the size a little bit. All right. All right. And we should change the title for this line chart as well. So again, I'll click here on this line chart, then format your visual under general, You can change the title from here, since here number of the patients are being represented by number of drinks per week. So I'll double click on this entire title and we'll clear it, and we'll now write number of patients by drinks per week. And probably we can keep it center aligned. We can keep it bold, italic, underlined, and we can change the color as well from here. And let's keep it #66554E. All right. So this is one of the charts that we have added. And let's say for this particular chart, we want to further change the style of the line that is being used. So we can simply click here on this line chart. Then under format your visual, here we have under lines, we have the line style option. So from solid, let's change it to dashed, and probably we can change the interpolation type to step. So it's going to look something like this. And in fact, if you want to change this line chart to an area chart, so just simply click here on add data to your visual, and having this chart selected, just simply click on this area chart icon under the visualizations pane. All right, so this is an area chart that has now been created. If you want a line chart to be created here, so you can simply, just having this chart selected, you can simply click on the line chart. And in case if you want an area chart to be there, so you can create, alternatively, you can create an area chart as well. So that's all right. All right, so if I'll again click on format your visual, then under the shaded area, if you want to increase the area transparency, so you can increase that as well from here. So let's say if we want to increase the transparency, you can keep it 86%, maybe 85%. All right, and in this way you can change the area frequency as well, right? Shaded area transparency as well. So that's how this chart can be created. Now, let's say we further want to format these 4 slicers which are present here on the top. So format as in I want the alignment to be proper. So I'll just simply, first of all, select all the 4 slicers which are present at the top. So select the first one, then press Ctrl from the keyboard and select all of them. Now under this format, we have the option to align horizontally. All right, so now it looks better. And apart from that, we also had the requirement to add 2 more charts. In one of the charts, we have to represent the number of the patients by sleep hours. And then there is one more chart wherein we want to represent the number of the patients by duration in minutes. So I will simply, first of all, click here on this area chart that we have already created. Control C, Control V, and I will just place it here. Let's resize. All right, and let's change the size a little bit. And on this chart, let's say we now want to represent the number of the patients by sleep hours. So from this x-axis bucket, I will remove this alcohol consumption column, and I will simply double click on the sleep hours column under the data pane and will drag and drop it here in x-axis bucket. So it now represents, basically it now represents the number of the patients by sleep hours. And let's format this chart a little bit. So having this new chart selected, I will click here on format your visual. Then under the lines, we can probably change these. Yes, we can change the interpolation type to smooth might be. All right. And apart from that, we have line style as dashed, so we can change it to dotted. All right, and if you do not want to keep it dotted, you can simply select solid as well. But for now, let's keep it dotted. All right, and now we will have to change the title as well. And we need to change this title along the horizontal axis as well, because now along the horizontal axis, the sleep hours are being represented. So having this newly created line chart selected, first of all, let's click on format your visual. Then under the general, we have title. And now here we may write number of patients by sleep hours. Okay, spelling by. All right. And then the title along the horizontal axis also needs to be changed. So again, I will click here on visual, then along the horizontal axis, for title, we may write all right, so here we may write number of, sorry, here we need to write sleep hours, right? So we may write sleep hours along the horizontal axis, right? And also here we need to correct the spelling. So I will click here on this chart, the step line chart present here at the bottom. So here we need to write number of patients by drinks per week. So the spelling has to be corrected. Under general, under title, patients by. And then for the for this title written along the horizontal axis, we need to correct the spelling. So under visual, x-axis, title, let's write off. All right, so that's fine. Now I want to create one more chart, and in that chart we want to represent number of patients by duration, the panic attack duration. So I will simply select this chart, smooth line chart that we have already created, Control C, Control V, and I will move the second chart on the right hand side, and let's keep it somewhere here. All right. So now in this newly created chart, we have to represent number of patients by duration in minutes. So I will remove the sleep hours from the x-axis bucket for the new chart. And then we have duration in minutes. So let's search for duration in the search box. Double click on this duration minutes column and drag and drop it here in x-axis bucket. So this now represents the panic attack duration in minutes, right? So we will have to change the title along the horizontal axis and this general title as well. So first of all, I'll click here on this newly created chart. Then under format a visual, under general title, we will have to write number of patients by panic attack duration in minutes. Panic attack duration. Obviously this duration is in minutes, so might be in bracket, you may mention panic attack duration minutes. And then along the horizontal axis as well, you should change the title and write panic attack duration. So I'll click on visual, then x-axis, title, and here you may write panic attack duration. All right, so this was the other requirements page that we had to create. And if you will now apply different kinds of filters, let's say we want to filter by trigger reason. So just simply click on a given trigger reason, and you will see that all the charts will get filtered in some time. It might take some time, and this is how the charts will be filtered. Let's say you want to see the data for gender equal to male. So for men, you can see that data. Panic score, let's say low. So you can apply that filter as well. And in case if you want to remove the filters, you can simply clear selection, and clear selection. Likewise, you can apply the filter for medical history as well. Let's say you want to see the data for depression. So we can select depression from here, and then you can view the data accordingly. So that was one of the requirements. We had to add this page as well, and we'll meet in the next session. We'll discuss about other requirements as well. I hope this session was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.